Hey guys, welcome to my garden. It has been a long time since I've done an unprompted, unwanted tour. But it is pretty cold here in Minnesota and it has hit frost several times, one hard frost. And my husband asked me, what is a hard frost? Well, like it gets to freezing and it frosts and then it gets to like 20 and it freezes. So all the plants just kind of are sad. So I'll show you what's still going. I have some of my fall pots going and a lot of winterized garden spaces. So I'll show you. So here is my rose garden, and the lambs are still doing pretty good. It's got some dead on it from the frost that I could probably take out. And my roses are doing pretty good. They're starting to show yellow for the fall, and they kind of had a hard end of the summer and I couldn't figure out why, and then I figured out they were getting too much water because my husband was sprinkling them when he did the lawn, and roses don't like to be watered that much, so I think that's why they were doing poorly. In this space, I do want to take some of these roses out. I think 2 of them, because I got 3 here. And I think I'll leave this one. And then maybe put in like a tall, slender evergreen of some sort. I want some irises in here just to like bring more diversity to this area. Because I love these roses, but I want something else here. And I'll probably move these out front when I cut that garden out after we put the fence in. These guys are doing really well and have bloomed since I planted them, so like all summer long. I don't remember what their name is, but they are Arizona apricot, and then the species name starts with a G. But they don't like water either, so they go really well with the roses. And then this was a good sign that it was getting overwatered is my sedum flopped. So they look really sad, and they have since I realized that Peter was sprinkling this area too much. So we'll just leave them, and then next year they'll pop back. Maybe I'll cut them back so I cut all this dead off. Lavender are doing really good. The bachelor button is still green, smaller. My bee balm is constantly fighting mildew or downy mildew. This has put on a lot of growth this year. It looks great, and I will cover that up for the winter because this is south side facing, so the winter sun will burn it and get winter burn, so I have to cover those up. And then my black-eyed Susan's done for the year. So this is pretty much done. What I did in the front is I put in drip tube in my gardens, and that was such a game changer. And I know it's not a new concept, but it's very new to me. So I'm going to definitely do that next year. And then I can drip these, because these do like water, but these don't like water, and then down there doesn't like water. And then when I put in some of the other stuff, I can really specify what gets water and what doesn't, and I can keep on top of watering. Here is a thumper eating a stick. So here are my fall planters. Most of them are still looking good. This carex grass is left over from the summer. The pansies survived the deep freeze, and so did my red beets. My Rudbeckia flowers did not, but the leaves still look pretty good. But I won't get new fall growth. It's too cold, so they don't really grow that much. Purple asters look beautiful. The flower itself is actually starting to die, but they were just so like electric color for the season. Kale is really pretty, and then this carex grass is really fun. It has a lot of curly cues if you can look. So I was really pleased with these. My berry barrels, we moved them in the sun, this one especially. This one was in part shade for the day, and the blueberry was just not doing well. And I thought it was chlorosis, and then I thought it was the soil was too dense and maybe the sun. So the sun really helped, but next year I am going to take all the soil out and repot it and give it some fresh soil in here. And then all of the strawberries are going somewhere else. They took over these blueberries, and if they come back next year, I'm just going to leave them and see if they come back. I want to put them in this container where the hot plants are and just have this be like strawberries and then hops. Air conditioner garden, oh gosh, what is this called again? Not nine bark, chokeberry. Starting to get its fall color and really pretty. Daisies and black-eyed Susans are done. Heuchera still looks good, but done. I had some annuals here. I plan to do like some wild geranium. That might be really pretty. And then maybe more heuchera here. I'm not sure what back here yet. I want something a little taller, but not too tall. And then I got space for something else here as well. All of my vegetable gardens are done and cleaned out. Lou's pumpkins from our pumpkin patch. All cleaned out. I didn't do any garlic planting. I've never done that, but I do eventually want to do it. And then this is my hydrangea garden, and it is all sad from the hard frost. The only thing that's still looking good are the alliums. So, and I'll probably split some of these next year and put them in the front when I cut out that garden. My Astable over here died, and the other one over here is pretty crispy. We'll see if it comes back. I love the Astables, but they are very fragile. If you don't water them enough, they will die. They are guaranteed to die. They are sad. Okay. Now we are in my front garden, and some winterization still needs to happen. I need to blow out my drip line so it doesn't freeze. All of my echinacea coneflowers are done for the season, except maybe, can't tell if that's the new bud or old growth. That might be actually new buds, which is impressive. Hollyhocks are still blooming, which is, I'm impressed. No Jordy. I took out my dahlias after the hard frost. That's what you're supposed to do, and I stored them for the winter. My gerbera are still blooming, and these are an annual in my area, but I want to leave them and see if they reseed themselves, because they were just so pretty. This one's kind of losing its color, but I really enjoyed them. My evergreen that I planted didn't put on a whole ton of new growth, but is doing really well. I'll have to cover up these boxwoods for the same reason as the back. This is my blue globe thistle plant. It grew quite a bit since I planted it, and I'm excited to see it bloom next year. All of the hydrangeas, which I plan to take out next year. I don't know if I'll move them or give them away or what, but I've got a different plan for this area. More drip line I need to blow out. The yew is doing really well. This is a witch hazel that I planted very late in the summer, early fall, and it shocked a little bit and all the leaves crisped up, but I just been kept watering it so the roots stay good, and we'll see what happens next year. The coral bells, not coral bells, Lenten rose. These stay green all winter. They're like a slight evergreen. I cut back all of my hostas, my Liguria. I want to plant a bunch more because I really like the look of these dark leaves. I want to do a whole drift of them in here, especially against this, because this will get really big. and then a drift of this Lenten rose. My rhododendron is looking good. It didn't really put on a lot of growth this year, but I don't know, it looks good to me. My Godzilla fern stayed really small this year, but it stayed. It's done for the season. And then I got space here and here to put something in, and space in here to put something in. I eventually want to cut garden out along here. We're gonna put a fence across, just a short one, and cut out a garden up here. I want to put like a maple or a river birch here, and then the boulevard I'm gonna do Minnesota native dry prairie and see how that goes. This is my fall planter up front. I added this planter in the fall and I really like where it's placed. Pansies look great, calyx grass looks great, beetroot looks great. Rebecca can't survive that real cold. Millet didn't survive, but it's drying up like corn, so it looks pretty cool. And then up here, I planted my yew. The pansies still look really good. And then when they don't, I'm gonna put in maybe some pine cones and some red berry and make it like holiday-y, Christmassy. Yeah, that's the front.